And finally, the last of this tranche, going back for the prompts, Emily gave me these lovely flowers for me to give to you,
Yes.
Tim.
Oh,
And they're beautiful Emerson purple. And I'm guessing that you probably know what kind of flowers they are.
I live in New York City. I pound
Nothing.
pavement.
Well, you've got the
I
bodegas.
admire.
Yeah, okay, fine. So without further ado, Forget Me Not and Emily Hughes.
Hi, I'm Emily Hughes. I'm a Business of Creative Enterprise major here at Emerson College, but enough about me. Let me introduce you to my Nana. Summer days spent with Nana were full of sunshine and warm conversations as we sat amongst her blooming gardens in the mountains of New Hampshire. Together we created wildflower bouquets, honed our bird-watching skills, and fostered a special bond built around our symbiotic love of nature. We discussed black-eyed Susans and how cardinals love their seeds. We searched for four-leaf clovers embedded deep within the blades of grass. Our time together was special, but sadly summers changed after Nana was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. ForgetMeNot was born out of hope to preserve and engage the memories of Nana and those like her who struggle daily with this heartbreaking disease. ForgetMeNot creates connections and engagement through flower assembly at memory care centers. While flowers are beautiful and embody the power of love, it is much more for those with memory loss. Flower assembly also stimulates reminiscing, and it has a healing effect on the mind. It strengthens the brain while also easing anxiety and stress caused by memory loss. ForgetMeNot is a nonprofit service that recycles and extends the beauty of flowers at the conclusion of weddings, galas, and funerals. When florist customers request a large number of flowers, the florist offers customers to donate to ForgetMeNot. Volunteers pick up the flowers and bring them to local memory care centers. Several assembly activities accompany the flowers for caregivers to use as they engage with the residents. Together, we can sustain the life of flowers and bring strength and joy to those who are struggling with memory loss. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed meeting my Nana. Pictured, you can see her with a bouquet of flowers on her 74th birthday. I created ForgetMeNot with her in mind, and with the 6 million other people in the world who suffer with Alzheimer's, I wanted to change the way we connect with them and how we engage with them. So for the timeline and goals of ForgetMeNot, I would really love to make an accessible class with my friends, family, and those passionate about my cause. By the end of February 2022, I think this is something that's very feasible and something that we can all do if we work very hard together. And as we are doing this, I would like to reach out to flower providers, volunteer organizations, and also those memory care centers, such like the one my Nana lives at. And we're doing this all together throughout February 2022. Now by summer 2022, I hope we will be able to create those connections and create that class that we can distribute and hopefully start a demo at least one memory care center by the end of this summer. And then for the long term, I really want to change lives. This is something that I'm very passionate about, and I really hope I can change my Nana's life and those who are affected. Now, how are we going to do this? I want to use a model that a lot of nonprofits use, like Make-A-Wish. They use the Heartfelt Connector model. They use donations and grants, and I'm hoping to reach out to the Alzheimer's Association to see if this is something that they will be very interested in helping me with. And then also memberships and campaigns. The campaigns can be 5Ks or events that can be held at flower markets, the farmers market, and all of this is centered around giving strength and partnership to all those helping and giving those strength to those with Alzheimer's. For allocating the budget, I would actually really love to optimize this class and make it more than just an assembly. I hope to get some medical professionals on board, contacting Harvard Med, even getting some students who are in med school to see if this is something they would be interested in doing. And that's probably what's going to take up most of our costs and most of our time. And of course, just like with any nonprofit, any startup, I need to create a website, I need to brand, I need to have advertisements, and then of course create these demos that we can administer and then receive feedback. All of this I'm estimating around 15,000, but I'm not a money girl, so we'll see. For measuring success, I think surveys is one of the best ways to do this. Administering surveys at the end of each interaction that we have with all of our partners is a great way to get feedback so that we can edit our classes. And then, of course, growth. If we can start in the Northeast and I can create a class that can be implemented in any memory care center around the nation, I, of course, would allocate that to our success. And then finally, last but not least, identifying that joy that families receive, that my partners receive, and then also those like my Nana, how they will feel, and the reactions that I get, I think is what is most important. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to me, and I hope together that we can really see the power of flowers together. So thank you.
Emily, I want to take a thoughtful guess. Your presentation was beautiful, as are these flowers. Is this freesia?
I actually don't know.
Oh, I'm delighted to hear that.
ForgetMeNots are an invasive species in Massachusetts.
Oh, is
so
that right?
I sadly couldn't give you guys those, but I would have.
Well, they're beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
Emerson purple.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to start with Sabrina.
I love your idea and I love your presentation. My mom had dementia for 10 years before she passed away in her sleep last year at the age of 92. And a good friend of mine actually gave me this suggestion as she started to fade away, that herbs and flowers and beautifully scented flowers, aromatic flowers, can actually stimulate the brain and sort of help create some kind of connection, which at the end was all I was hoping for, was just a little glimpse of a connection. And so I love this idea, and I think it's beautiful. I think you should experiment with herbs like lavender and rosemary as well, because I've heard that those actually do connect with Alzheimer's and patients of dementia. And I would suggest that maybe you start off with local florists, like who would want to support you in this, because you've got to actually make the flower bundle. And so my question to you is, what does it cost to land or deliver, right, and ship something like this? And where are you going to start? Are you going to start like locally in Boston or in your hometown? And like, what's the go-to-market strategy there?
I would love to start in Boston. Actually, my Nana's Memory Care Center is just outside of Boston, so I really want to connect with them. I'm really hoping to rely on a volunteer network, those who will be willing to create the bundles and be able to deliver them. I was thinking about partnering with Girl Scouts as just an example, if this is something they can do for community service. Anyone that needs that is what I'm thinking of.
Okay. That's awesome.
Thank you. Eric.
I love this idea. Also have various connections to Alzheimer's in my family. And I think just one of the things I actually think I'm very confident you can find sources of flowers, lightly used flowers. You mentioned weddings, funerals, but I think also farmers, like the last 10%, you could help them harvest, flower markets, etc. And I guess I'd love you to challenge you to think about the people like your Nana. Are they the consumers of the flowers or the producers of organizing them and sharing them with someone else in their center or someone else even in a different place? I think both could be great, but really thinking through how could the people with Alzheimer's benefit from the flowers maybe by repackaging them and giving them away, but having that time with them, and or by receiving them. So I don't know if you say more about how you're thinking about that.
So for the ending, like once they're received at the memory care center, I would really love for it to be repurposed for as long as possible, those flowers. And I'm really thinking about having their lives extended of the flowers throughout like the memory care center, and having them repurpose them so that they can be shared with possibly the volunteers again, giving it back to those who have helped, or just setting them around the memory care center so that, of course, they get that reminder and are able to stimulate whatever they need.
Thank you. So we have reached the end of our first tranche. Yeah.
Emily, thank you.
Before we move on to arts, I want to ask the judges if they have any final remarks to our communication and community folks. Sabrina.
I'm so impressed with all of you guys. I mean, when I was in college, I didn't know how to write a business plan, and I wasn't thinking in this way and wasn't stimulated to think in this way, which says a lot, not just about you, but about Emerson, encouraging you guys to develop these ideas. And wow, like in 10 days, putting this together, I'm so impressed. And I wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you. Brent.
Well, I will say briefly, first, thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, students. All of you, I think, give me a lot of confidence, a lot of pleasure in the prospects for our future. So thanks you to Sharon and Tim for really cultivating this opportunity. You two clearly believed in this from the outset. You put a lot of energy into it. And I'm so grateful to the students for really showing us that we have a lot to be hopeful for. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric?
Yeah, I thought every one of them are great ideas. All of them have real possibilities that can see growing at Emerson, in other colleges, and around the world. So get to it. Call upon your networks, call upon us. We need every one of these ideas. And I've been a judge in a number of competitions like this. These are some of the more impressive, practical, and sort of varied ideas that I've seen. They'll change a lot. Get out there and try it. You'll get feedback from the market, and you may end up with a very different idea, but the best way to learn is to try.
Absolutely. Thank you. Andy?
Yeah, I'd like to echo a lot of what the other judges say, but not repeat it. I really agree with that. And I think one thing to keep in mind, because these are such good ideas, is that a lot of them are very big visions, and that can seem very overwhelming. And really never be afraid to break it down, try to put the problem in a box, do things a little, focus on one thing at a time, because what gets an idea done and out there is not the enormity of the vision. It's the 1,000 little things you do every day, every step of the way, as each day passes, that eventually ends up in something big. So I wish you guys all the best of luck.
So well said. Thank you all so much
Thank
for
you.
all your input
Yes.
and judging. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.